Hello, listeners. This week we are once again joined by a guest, but rather than a straight interview, it's more of a conversation. Sharing his thoughts on the topic of Sprezzatura is Andy, a menswear enthusiast that Ethan and I first met at the Dapper Day plus LACMA event this September. He's also a member of the Facebook group, which you can join. It's Street X Sprezza Community. I believe we talk about that later in the episode, but hey, the more plugs, the better. Now that we have that out of the way, we can get on with the show. So, without further ado, here is Style and Direction.
Hi guys, welcome to Style and Direction, a menswear podcast without the stuffiness. This is your host Ethan Wong.
I'm your host Spencer Oddie.
Spencer, how are you doing today?
I'm great. This is my first. I'm beginning school this week, so I was at class for most of today, and then I came home. And earlier this morning, I discovered The Good Place with Kristen Bell, a TV show on NBC. I've been talking about it to Ethan basically all day.
Nice. I actually haven't been paying attention because I'm a good boy at work who doesn't check his.
That is a lie. That is.
What are you talking about? I am like the best worker. I work
because there's.
So
I mean,
hard.
with your job, there's so little time to check your phone.
Right.
Because
yeah,
of how
we
often
get customers
you're
all the
helping
time.
people out.
And if my boss is listening, I'm busy a lot.
You're so busy. Yeah,
I'm
but
so busy
anyway,
scheduling.
The Good Place on NBC. Check it out. This is
Sponsored
a sponsored post.
Yeah. Thanks, NBC.
Kristen Bell personally gave me $30 for that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I watched. Okay,
Bell.
but anyway, my point is, I watched literally all of it today.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, not season 2. All of season 1.
It's on Netflix?
It's the first season's on Netflix. Yes.
You're telling me that I can watch the first season on Netflix on demand whenever I want?
Whenever you want. It's called Netflix, and it's great. $14 a month. This is a sponsored post.
There we go. I'm joined to get back on topic. I'm joined today by my friend.
When were we off topic? We never had a topic to begin with.
Well, I'm pushing us forward, just like Mao Zedong.
Yep.
The great leap forward. Exactly. So to be like Mao and go on with some cultural revolution, I'm joined by a new friend today. Well, he's not really a new friend. How long have we known each other? And I'll introduce you in a second.
Since August?
Since August,
I think.
So like
no.
When was LACMA?
LACMA,
Yeah.
That was
So
sometime over the
how do you
summer.
want us to address you? Do you want to say Andy or Nguyen?
Andy.
Andy. Okay. So I'm joined by my friend Andy. Andy, say hi.
Hi guys. I'm Nguyen Tran, aka Andy.
Nice. I'm Andy, aka Andy. How was your day today, Andy?
It was pretty good.
What did you eat for dinner?
This is funny stuff.
It's the reason why it's funny is because we did like 5 takes of this.
We did. Well, that was mostly you guys. Okay, so we're gonna fess up. We really wanged it when we interviewed Cody. Because we had the wrong setting on the microphone.
Yeah.
Right now,
it's supposed to
Ethan
be
and
on
Andy
this
are
one.
having fun gallivanting around Ethan's house while I'm stuck in Orange County. So they're
It's
together.
funny because Andy is originally from Orange County.
Yep, the OC, as we don't call
Don't
it.
call it that. Yeah.
So they're together. I'm not, and they're using the microphone, both the right settings this time. We tested.
Yeah,
that
we're
out.
on interview mode, which is
We should have figured
5
that was the right one to use, huh?
No, okay. So in my defense, I was telling Andy this at dinner. So the symbol for interview mode is like an infinity symbol. So it's like 2 connected circles. And the symbol for stereo mode is 2 circles intersecting each other. So more like a Venn diagram. And I thought that the 2 circles that are intersecting, they point in 2 directions, right? So therefore that one must be the interview mode, because the infinity one would be stereo mode, right? You get everything. But apparently That's not the case.
Theoretically, with your microphone, could we make one of those like 3D like ASMR videos where it sounds?
Oh
like,
yeah, because technically, yeah, like I said, it's stereo mode. So what we recorded last time, that's how it works.
that was an ASMR video.
That was
probably for some
listen
people.
to that Cody episode.
Yeah.
But Andy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that you are into classic menswear. You're kind of a little bit into vintage, mainly because you thrift, right? And you have a little bit of
Like
appreciation.
Macklemore.
Yeah, he's got a big cock. But yeah, tell the listeners about yourself.
So I actually just got into real menswear around a year and a half ago. Before that,
Fairly recent then.
fairly recent, yeah.
Yep.
But my very first jacket or blazer that I got when I first got to the U.S. In 2012 was a H&M blazer, and when I tried it, I'm like, this is something I think I'm gonna wear. Like, I'm gonna be able to rock it. But then it sits in my closet for like 2 years ish. Then I got to know a guy from Vietnam. He's really knowledgeable. His name is Phúc Đoàn. And he's starting a business in bespoke too in
cool.
Saigon. Yeah.
And I just want to say, when we first started talking, and you were one of the first people to join the Street X Sprezza Facebook group. I know you shared that Vietnam is kind of getting big into menswear now.
It is.
I know that there's always been that kind of the fast tailoring, but now it's kind of exploding. More in terms of quality and style as opposed to these cheap fast suits. So I think that's kind of. Can you tell us more about that?
So yeah, I think recently people in Vietnam are actually paying more attention to quality tailoring stuff right now, as opposed to the fast fashion, Zara, H&M stuff. And I think the customers actually educating the customers actually educating the tailors back because they're updating information from blogs like yours, Street X Sprezza, and articles of style.
Oh, okay.
And they know more.
Right, yeah. So it's like these tailors were very old school, and to get the new styles, they're having to go through getting new clients.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's kind of, not to cut you off there, but that. Did you read Ambi Torah, the book? Another sponsor post, guys. Read Ambi Torah.
I do want to read it.
Yeah.
Oh,
have you read that book?
No.
And so basically, for those of you who are listening who don't know, it's a book about how Japan kind of co-opted American style and how they kind of got it. And so back in the 30s and 40s, Japan, even though it was kind of isolationist a little bit, they still had an idea of what a 30s and 40s suit would look like. And this guy, I forgot what his name was, but he was kind of a rich guy. He fell in love with American ivy tailoring. And he wanted them to create these ivy look, but they didn't it's weird. They didn't know how to not have shoulder pads in the suit. They didn't know how to have a 3-roll 2 button stance, and like a sack suit. And so earlier in the book, they kind of mentioned how he had to go through these different variations of it, and how I don't think there's any pictures of it because I think he threw them away because they weren't what he wanted. But I think it's kind of cool how that's kind of happening in Vietnam right now. They're these old school tailors who have done kind of the same thing, according to you, right? They're having to change how they do it, with these new styles. And so what's the main thing that's popular over there right now? Is it kind of articles of style? Because I know you shared that there was that thing called the suit walk, right, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
That was a Vietnamese International Week walk. Sorry.
A walk week.
Walk week,
where everyone walks. No cars allowed.
But the sartorial menswear enthusiasts actually gather up and to meet in that event, and they call it the sartorial walk, where they meet each other, different big tailors. They met each other as well as other big dressers, big bloggers. They met each other to talk about menswear.
Wow.
Share about stuff.
Now, Are they like businessmen, or are they just enthusiasts? Like, is it like?
Some of them are businessmen. Some of them are politicians.
Oh wow.
Yeah, some of them.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, and tailors. Even just college students. Like,
Wow.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay, so how did that work out for you? So, did you get into it when you first moved here?
I got into it. Yeah, actually way back before, like I saw my dad wearing, high rise slacks with
Hell yeah.
with pleats and button up shirts. And I mean, he didn't really inspire me. He just kind of perpetuated the idea that into my mind, kind of, because he taught at home. So I saw him wearing that every day. And then when I got into the US, I kind of get into that menswear thing at first by buying my first H&M polyester blazer, and then I read the blog from his name is Phúc Đoàn. He's the founder of a big menswear brand in Vietnam, and I got even more into it. And then I read Ethan's first vintage tailoring
Guide?
guide-ish.
Yeah. How did so the one that was like the general guide to vintage style, or that
Which-
one?
No,
We need
That,
to update because a lot of those photos are down.
the very first one was the $3 suit.
Oh yeah, the $3
Yep,
thrifted suit
I
Yeah,
got it.
$3
that he was actually wearing a few minutes ago, actually, because he's at my house.
And
yep,
I'm not.
and
How did you find that one? Did you
I don't know. I just
Google?
I just wrote menswear on Google and try.
Check out that SEO, guys. That's
Just
how
want to
it
let you know,
works.
I looked it up, and apparently we have, or well, I should say you have. I've done like 3 things for the blog. You have 1,350 total views from the country of Vietnam.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good morning, Vietnam.
And then do you want to know your least viewed country?
Yeah, what is it?
Congo.
Finland.
Well, Micronesia, Congo. There's
Wait,
a lot.
hold on.
There's a
There are
lot.
pe-
Djibouti.
Wait, I get like one view from each of these small random countries.
Yes. Iran
That
is not
sounds-
a small country, but you did get one view from Madagascar.
I meant like
my favorite
wow.
movie.
Okay, first of all, the score to Madagascar is severely underrated, guys. I think
Okay.
I'm just saying. Hans Zimmer really did a good job with that one.
Yep.
And his 9 ghostwriters.
Yep.
But that's super cool, though. I that's kind of a weird way to get. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I do a lot of these tailoring transformations, every once in a while. So I'm glad that you were able to find one. That's kind of cool. And then what made you actually add me on? No, yeah, you messaged me when I was in like France.
Ah,
Oh
oui,
yeah,
oui.
that was
Yeah, that was like in May.
May. Yes.
Yeah, and you were like, "Hey, my name is Andy. I would love, I don't know if you were doing any events, but I'm in OC." And I'm like, I was literally in one of the, I forgot what it was, like I was in Montmartre, which is like the arts, like an art town in Paris. Like Van Gogh. I don't want to get my art history wrong, but apparently a lot of artists stayed there at some point in like like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And no, I remember like getting like some lemonade, and I'm like, hey, this guy messaged me. Should I like start doing like events? And my mom was like, yeah, you should. I'm like, okay, sure. So yeah, I guess that's literally the story now. And then he was able to come to LACMA, where I saw him for like 2 seconds before I went to go watch a movie.
Yep.
Which turned out to be one of the longest movies I've ever
It
seen
was
in my
so
life.
long. Okay, so here's a fun story about that movie. I left in the middle to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And when I came back in, the theater was so dark, I literally could not find Ethan. So I just
And
had
then also, it didn't help that we sat like in the middle of like a row, and
And-
so he would have to like walk through a bunch of people to find
to
me. And
maybe
he's-
find him.
yeah.
And so instead, I just sat on the edge, and I was
And
very uncomfortable the whole time.
I considered leave. I mean, even though I really like the movie, and for those of you who don't know, it's called The Red Shoes. It's like a 1950s movie about a ballet thing.
Yep.
But anyway, I even considered leaving because I was like, Spencer's not here.
I was
Maybe
really
he's, like,
worried
waiting
you did
outside.
that because I would be like, because then I was gonna be like, I'm not gonna find him. Like,
Also,
he's-
there was like no signal in that building.
no, there was no signal. Okay. Also, confession time. I had also left to check my phone to see if I got any messages because that was a day that I had gotten ghosted on Tinder, and so I was like, ooh,
Yikes.
maybe she messaged me back, but she didn't. And that's my sad life.
It's okay. I'm single too.
Yeah.
Except Andy. Andy's got a girlfriend.
Oh yes.
How long have you guys been dating? Welcome back to Ethan's love interviews.
Fun fact about the podcast, we named it Style and Direction so we could call ourselves Sad Boys and be sad about how we're single, but then we realized how douchey that would be.
But it's true. We are pretty sad.
Yeah.
Does she share your love of men's or fashion? From what I've seen, she dresses really well.
She does dress really well, and well, she's
Now I
not
feel
re-
sad now.
Sad Boys.
she's not really into tailoring, but recently I don't know if that's because of me or she started to wear high-rise pants
Nice.
with pleats,
Ooh.
and that
Nice.
really, I'm like, wow, that looked really great on her, and I was surprised too.
But that she was getting into it.
Kind of. She just started to wear
Yeah.
just slacks with
Right. That's
pleats,
super
yeah.
cool, man.
Mhm.
You better hold on to that one. But yeah. So, what do you do for a living? And what's your social security number? What's your? No, I'm just kidding. No, but do you get to dress up for work?
I don't. Actually,
Sad.
well, if you count wearing Capital Oxford as dressing as, yeah, maybe when slacks, but
That's like your little form of like I'm gonna bend the dress code of my job. I'm gonna wear some of this.
yeah. I'm actually working at a French Vietnamese restaurant,
Oh, okay.
and I'm also a full-time student in Custer Fullerton.
Hmm.
But
Now you're gonna die. Someone's gonna kill you now.
Oh, God. You're just going to look for someone wearing Capto Oxfords at Fullerton.
well, those are actually real workwear shoes, slip
really?
resistant. Yes, made from real leather, and it's Capital Oxford.
Wow.
Well, no, actually, no, Capital Derby.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, but still, but they require me to wear slacks,
Mm-hmm.
black slacks, and they provide me with a red button-down shirt.
Is it polyester?
No, it's cotton.
Oh, thank
good.
God.
Fine.
Thank God. But yep, yeah, I just measure my pants exactly how I do to my menswear thing, and wear a Capsule Derby.
Right.
Yep.
So, how often do you work? Like when are you able to actually dress up?
Oh man,
Oh man,
dude.
never. I dress up when I go home.
Well, I've been working a heck a lot after since Christmas and New Year, and that kind of thing. But things are spreading out a little bit, and I have a little bit more time me time for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So-
you're able to come here, right? So-
Yeah, see, so I usually just dress up, not really dress up, but just put on some slacks and shirts and just sport jacket.
Mhm.
If I have to go to the bar to grab a drink with my friend.
Nice.
Yeah, Spencer can't go to the bar yet.
Well, give me
Soon
like
enough.
roughly 25 days.
Actually, Andy will be turning 23 like a week before that, or how long? When do you turn?
February 18th.
Yeah, so literally almost 1 week before, or a little over a week before Spencer.
We should have a shared birthday party.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Let's
why not?
fucking do it, bro. But yeah, so you dress up for the bar, dates, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, but date. Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. How's
Yep.
your family feel about you dressing up?
Well, I started to wear a lot of loafers,
And they hated it.
And they hated it. Yes. My shoe racks has already filled up with sneakers before because I was into sneakers before, and now I don't have space for leather loafers, so I had to I had to put them in front of my room, and inside of my room it filled up all the way in like the door, and they're like, I gotta buy a new rack soon. Hopefully.
When I because you can see the rack in my room right over there.
Yeah.
Before
I
that,
can't.
I was gonna ask you, like, where'd you get it, though?
It's my dad got it from Target, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I before that it was just all on the floor. So yeah, I'm really glad that my dad bought it. I think it's like $20. Thanks Target.
So, do we want to get on the? Are we still talking about the?
Why don't we get back? So we've learned a little bit more about Andy right now, and for those of you who have made it this far and have listened to the podcast and maybe kept up with us on Instagram, there's actually a lost episode where we discuss the concept of a sprezzatura.
Deep in the style and direction lore.
Yeah. The reason
I wrote
why
a
we didn't do it.
creepypasta about it.
Yeah. It'll be like, I don't read creepypasta, so I don't even know how I would begin it.
It's like
but
I tell you to kill yourself, and then like the picture, it starts bleeding photorealistic blood.
and it spells out sprezzatura.
Yep.
But basically we did a whole episode on that topic, and we couldn't release it because the audio was kind of fucked up.
But then the next episode had the exact same problem and released it anyway.
Yeah, except that one, it was less apparent, so it wasn't as bad. So we thought that, now that we have a guest, it won't be as if we were just kind of redoing the same episode. That we'd get, we'd all be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for those of you who don't know, Sprezzatura is one of the facets of my blog because it's great SEO for me. But it stems from a word. It's Italian, obviously, and it stems, or it means studied carelessness. I forgot. Spencer, do you know who came up with that term?
You bet I do. I'm not gonna attempt. Well, I'll attempt to say his name. Let me just check out how many views you get from Italy. Okay, so if everyone who reads your blog in Italy listens to this, I will get roughly 4,000 angry emails. People.
That's a lot.
Another fun thing about me is that I'm really bad at foreign pronunciation.
I mean, you're white, so
I am.
You're just...
His name was Baldassare.
That was awful.
Yep. Castiglione. That's not right.
Castiglione?
Castiglione. Yep. Gilone. No,
I don't
Glione.
know. I could be bad at that too. I'm not.
But
I'm like the
anyway, it
whitest
came
Asian
from
guy
the
ever.
book. It came from his book of the courtier.
Mm-hmm.
And according to Wikipedia, where it is defined by the author as a certain nonchalance so as to conceal all art and make whatever one does or say appear to be without effort and almost without any thought about it. So essentially, studied carelessness.
Ooh. So basically, it's like, I think you told us the last time that
It was
these
originally
guys in, like the Enlightenment would be like, I'm gonna study this so hard. So
Renaissance, actually.
Renaissance. Sorry, the other one. But they were like, oh, I'm gonna like practice martial arts forever, and so I can make it look like I didn't, like I'm just naturally good, like I don't even care, but
If we're talking about martial arts, which was I don't think widespread in Europe at the time, there is a Japanese term that means roughly the same thing.
Oh, lay it on us.
Shibui.
Shebang?
Yep.
William Hung?
Yep, it's a Japanese term which refers to a particular aesthetic of simple, subtle, and unobstructive beauty.
Yeah, that's hauntingly beautiful.
Yep. But yeah, essentially it would just, like Ethan said, guys would say, like, I'm going to practice this, like, I don't know, the example they use as is, like, dancing or maybe jousting or whatever. They spend hours and hours practicing it, but then they act like, oh, what's this? A big dog? When they're about to get on that jousting horse, but then they kill it. So yeah, so I guess guys would nowadays. I don't think it really means. It also somehow they have an example, like a picture of like a Raphael painting, and then like an earlier version of that painting, and they're like, look at the Sprezzatura and Raphael's version. I don't really see a difference.
Maybe he just painted it all smug. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just painting this thing. So for those of you listening, not live, obviously, because we're not live. But I guess it's translated over to menswear in a sense that, you want to make your outfit look as effortless as possible, even though it's carefully put together.
Mm-hmm.
and Gianni Agnelli, I think is his name. I really, lots of guys talk about how he's like the best guy that that got him into it, but I didn't really get into it or even know of him until like the past 1 or 2 years ago. He's like this tycoon, Italian tycoon, who I guess you would say he gave no fucks about what he was wearing. Like he'd wear like desert boots or like work boots with a suit. He would wear his tie. He wouldn't tuck in his tie blade into the keeper. He would just let it all hang out. Sometimes he would tuck it in, which I know ruffles a lot of feathers for some people,
including Paul F. Tompkins.
Yeah, and what else would he do? He would also like he would wear his wristwatch like on his shirt, like on his shirt cuff, and yeah, he just kind of gave no fucks, and a lot of people kind of latched onto that today in like the past 10 years when the menswear renaissance happened. And they kind of like, yeah, it's called Sprezzatura, man. You just don't give a fuck. But you obviously do give a fuck. But something that we touched on in the lost episode is that I think it's kind of gotten misused as a term.
True.
Yeah. Like a lot of guys, like especially on Reddit, will be like, oh, you see pity peacocks. And by that we mean guys who go to pity who dress very flamboyantly.
Like
There's nothing wrong with it.
Like
but,
bright pink suits, stuff like that.
Right, yeah. Like crazy shoes, and it's basically, I mean, maybe not for some of them, but I think the idea is to get noticed, to get your picture taken, and even though they're outrageous, they tend to have an air of like, I guess, Sprezzatura, and they make it look effortless, and I think that's not really what it means. Like, I can only speak for myself here, but I think it's more for styling and how you carry yourself with your suit, as opposed to like, hey, I'm gonna wear bright pink pants and be like, whatever. Like, I don't think that's the right term for it, And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they see it, they think, oh, that's just Sprezzatura, and I'm like, that's not. It gives it a bad term.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like you like. Pity peacocks are Sprezzatura, or they have Sprezza, or whatever you want to call it.
I feel like the definition that you and I have of Sprezzatura could be, it has a lot to do with kind of like our interest in Ivy style, because
interesting,
because it's like, for the most, I'm just speaking for myself here, but for the most part, none of us are. Well, both of us, we're not into dressing to stand out and look like crazy and make everyone like be the center of attention. Am I right?
And Andy, how do you dress?
Well, I just dress because for myself, because I just
good
love...
answer. You pass.
I just dress up because I feel comfortable in that way, and yeah, that's it. If I feel comfortable in what I wear, that's wearing for me first, and then I dress up because it's for me first, and then because I respect the person that I'm interacting with.
Right? Didn't someone said it's like dressing well is a good form of good manners?
Good manners,
it shows respect for like what they like. Oh, this guy cared enough to look good when we're hanging out or something, right?
And
it's funny, as I'm saying this, I'm wearing pajamas, and Andy is still wearing his attire.
I'm
from
also
earlier.
in pajamas, but y'all can't see me, so whatever. But yeah, no, because it's like when I think of like the classic Ivy style, of course there are things like go to hell pants and like and whatever.
That's
but
preppy though. That's preppy.
But for the most part, the stuff that we tend to like a little bit more is very, to borrow from the Japanese term, unobtrusive. Things like they would wear their shirts to hell, and so it's like on the collar would be kind of frayed. Or this is not something that Ethan or I do, but there was an Ivy trend of when their shoes needed to be resoled, instead of actually resoling them, they would just like tape it together. So stuff like that.
Okay.
And I did not know that.
That's a new extreme.
I think I've sent you photos of that.
Save money.
Yeah, I think I've sent you photos of that. But yeah, it's like that kind of thing of just being like, acting like you do not care how you look, but really you do deeply, deeply care.
Well, so I guess, our interpretation, if I can assess it correctly, it's like we put the outfit together. We put our our style is very studied.
Yep.
Basically, right? Like we know what goes together. We know what's supposed to fit. But then when we wear it, we don't care, and that's where the carelessness comes in. I mean, that's how I do it. Like I aim You know, I mean, yeah, I could say I dress for myself. I want to be comfortable or whatever. But I really, if I was being, you know, narcissistic or arrogant about it, I want. It's like I want to be a beacon to people.
Oh boy.
To prove that you can dress up and be a normal guy.
You want to be able to look comfortable in your clothes.
Exactly, and a lot of people, you know, don't have that.
Nope.
Like, you know, like even with vintage, like, you know, like they always say, like, don't put your hands in your pockets, stand straight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you gotta look proper all the time or whatever.
Yeah, like when you posted on vintage Facebook groups, you would always get comments like, "Why do you have your hands in the pockets?" and stuff like that.
Right. Oh, and yeah, like that happens all the time, and even not just vintage people, but like regular people. You know, like when I posted this article of that you can put your hands in your pockets. I put that on Reddit. Comments. Some people were like, "Oh, we don't really need this post because you can do it. It's up to you." And then some people were like, "You're gonna ruin your suit," or "It's so slouchy, it's not proper." And I'm like, exactly. That's exactly why I wrote this, because I couldn't care less. Like you know, if you wear a denim jacket or a leather jacket, you're gonna put your hands in your pockets, right? So why can't you do that with your suit?
Come
or
on,
your
guys.
sport coat or something?
Like,
you know?
yeah, I get a lot of customers that like want to leave. Like, I'm giving them their suits from tailoring, and I'm like, "Do you want me to cut open the pockets?" And they're like, "No, I don't want them. No, don't want them to get ruined." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about?"
It's there for the use, right?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. You know, I remember when I first met my friend Dylan at Dapper Day, and Dylan's a vintage guy. He's a nice guy, and like he was wearing like a Palm Beach DB jacket with navy trousers, and the thing I noticed was that like he was using his pockets. Like he had like his phone case in there. He's got like a newspaper or some magazine, book that he brought with him, you know, to read while he's waiting for rides or whatever. And I'm like,
rides.
yeah, like he's so bored. But like I really enjoyed that. Like, I mean, it's not even like a styling thing. It's just like he's just using it, and he looks so natural. Like he's not, he doesn't care that you can see the lines of his wallet in his pocket. Like that's the whole point.
And I mean, with denim heads, being able to see the outline of stuff you carry in your pockets all the time, that's a huge deal.
Like you want those fades, you know. And I know that like when we post in our groups, vintage guys will be like, "Oh, you're gonna make the pockets sag or whatever," and I'm like, "Well,
bring it on."
yeah, I want it to sag." Like there's a picture that I put in the article of Jimmy Stewart, and I think It's a Wonderful Life, where he's wearing like a patch pocket suit, and it's probably like one of his few suits, I think, or something like that, because like his pockets are just saggy, and I'm like, I want mine to look like that.
Yep.
But yeah, like I remember there's this guy, I forgot what his username on Reddit is. It's probably better that I don't remember it. But
yeah, because we talked about in one of the other episodes, you got to stop using this to air out your dirty laundry and calling people out.
Hey man, it's all fake. It's fake news.
Yep. Okay.
That's the world we live in now, right?
Uh-huh.
But no, he was talking about how, you know, he bought this Tom Ford or Tom Brown suit, and he like wasted money because the pockets began to sag. And I'm like, dude, that's your fucking fault then.
Yeah.
Like I mean, not saying that's your fault for, you know, for putting your hands in your pockets. I'm saying like, it's your suit, man. Like it's yours. You've lived it, you know. Unless he's like a hype beast where you want to like resell it later, I guess I can see that. You know, same thing with vintage
the
people.
patina of your suit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like a lot of people are post these questions on MFA where they're like, "Oh no, I got creases on my shoes.
Yep.
How do I get rid of them?" And I'm like,
Yep.
"You don't walk."
Yeah, basically, it's like people complain about like sometimes. Okay, now I'm airing out my dirty laundry, but we have people come in that they return a pair.
Should we
of
have called
shoes.
this podcast laundry service?
They return a pair of
Actually,
shoes.
that's
Like,
kinda
I've worn
good.
this 2 times and there are creases in it. I want a pair that doesn't have any creases, and I tell them it's like, that's what happens with leather shoes. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Or there was a dude who like returned a pair of pants that he'd already had tailored, so we had to damage it out because there was one loose thread on the back of the knee. And I told him, no one's gonna notice. And he said, I paid $100 for these pants. And I was like, okay, let me take out the thread. And so I got a seam ripper and pulled out the loose thread. And he's like, it left a mark. And I said, it's a textured suit. Like, it blends in. And he's like, well, I can see it. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. And then I left because I was supposed to leave 10 minutes ago.
Right. So, like, is the thing we're coming to is that guys don't want to be lived in their suits? Like, is
Yeah.
it because they want it to look pristine as possible?
They just want it to be perfect always. And if you have like maybe one suit that you have to like wear to everything, I understand that. But if you have more
Right.
than one, like who cares?
That was actually me. Like that happened to me to my polyester H&M blazer when I first bought it. I was so like, I really treasure it. So whenever I drive,
What a loser.
I don't even put it on. I laid it like flat in the back of my car.
And you buckled
And then-
up the seatbelt.
Pretty much, yes. So and I didn't even cut the thread. I knew that we're supposed to cut the thread so we can use the pockets. Like, no, just fuck it. I'm just gonna keep it pristine so it looks as new as possible. And I put it in a plastic bag, put it in a closet, and I never wear it for like 2.5 years later.
You
Or
know,
like,
it's funny.
okay.
I have belt backs that I fucking beat up more than that, more than
Yeah,
a polyester jacket.
I just got a 100% cotton Ralph Lauren like blue sport coat, and I was wearing it for the first time the other day. Literally, just like right before I left, just pulled it out of the eBay box, and threw it on. And one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, you should put that in the presser. It's a little bit wrinkled." And I was like, "Thanks." That's what I'm going for.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me other than just people telling me, stop putting your hands in your pockets. And I like how it's become kind of like a meme in our little Facebook community, like fisting Ethan.
Which is my favorite hobby.
Yeah, everyone likes to fist Ethan. Oh man, is it gonna be that kind of podcast now?
Oh yeah. This one's
yeah.
definitely gonna earn the explicit tag.
Oh yeah, finally.
Are there
You know,
any
I
other
noticed-
points we could bring up so we're not just complaining about other people?
Right. Well, I think if we want to go back to the whole, like the misconception about it, like I really, and maybe we're the ones that are wrong because what I've read is that people feel like it is Sprezzatura to wear pink suits and pink stuff, and I think it's because, you know, it takes balls to pull off pink pants. And I mean, I guess in a sense they do. You know, most of the time when they wear like pink jackets or pink trousers, it's usually worn with like white or blue, which it does go with, even though it might be a little bit of like an out there choice for most of us. And in a sense, you could say that that's Sprezzatura because it's studied. You know, they obviously know how to make it work, and they're like, fuck this, I'm gonna wear it. And that's where the carelessness comes in. I don't know what your how you feel about that. But that's how I can reconcile it. You know, like the more we talk about it, the more, you know, I can see that there can be different variations of what it means to have a Sprezzatura.
Sprezzatura means something different to everybody.
Whoa. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk it?
Right. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Spence? Or Andy, whatever if you guys want to jump in. Come in, the water's fine.
Well, for me, I think that I didn't even know the word like for like a couple months ago.
Right.
So I think the Sprezzatura, the essence of it is to look comfortable in what you're wearing, and you can only achieve that by wearing it like a lot. I'm not talking about daily, but just like you put it on with you put it on carefully, but as soon as you walk out the door, you just, you know, you're not pretending you don't remember it. You actually forget about it and just, you know, jump in with whatever you do daily.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it's like, you know, you care about it when you're putting it on, and then once it's on, you're just like,
Yep.
whatever happens. That's a good mentality for
Yeah.
that. I think that's really good. I think I'm the same way. You know. Spence, I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't go out of my way to like actually like ruin stuff, or, you know, like if I'm wearing like I wear linen pants, and I'm more careful not to get holes in those.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, like I throw it on, I'm like, okay, just time to be me. I think we probably already brought this up, but my main goal is to look comfortable in what I wear. And
And that's
one of
all
my
of us.
coworkers, the first time they saw me out of like my shirt and tie that I wear to work, they were like, "It's weird to see you dressed casual." And I was thinking, well, we all dress up all the time. But then I was like, maybe it's just because I look so gosh darn natural in what I'm wearing.
I'm so good.
Yeah.
Now, I think you touched on a good point there, because you said like you don't go out of your way to ruin things, and I think that's something that we miss, or people miss about Sprezzatura, because it's become such a meme in menswear. People go out of their way to look natural. And like I guess that comes with like the unbuckled monk straps.
Oh my god.
Which I mean I can kind of get on the side of, like, you unbuckle one to slip them on and you just kind of be like, fuck it. But then I guess like someone said it's like, wearing shoes untied, which it's easier to put on, but it's kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
And same thing goes for like the tied tie thing. Like obviously I don't think any of us use tie bars or use the keeper. Actually, with vintage ties, they don't have keepers, which, that's my excuse. But I do wear modern ties every once in a while, and I don't use them. Andy, do you use your keeper?
What's that?
Oh, so for those of you listening, so on the back of the front tie blade is a little loop,
okay.
and then you put the other thing there.
When I first got into menswear,
Yeah.
I did, but not right now because I don't know. I just at first I actually forgot to put them on, and
So
I'm
real
like,
Sprezzatura when you
well,
forgot.
pretty
Yeah, there
much,
you go.
yeah. But but actually the debate about where to draw the line for study carelessness of Sprezzatura
Uh-huh.
has been a big debate in Vietnam right now.
Oh, whoa!
Yes.
They're actually talking about this right now.
Yes, it is. And the guy that actually hosts the sartorial walk, he actually has a blog too. Do you mind if I say the name?
No, go ahead. No.
Oh yeah, his blog is Gentleman Sharing, and he's working for Sir Taylor. He wrote about where to draw the line of, how not to be too careless, like where you wear double monk straps and you just don't buckle 4 of them. That's not just careless, that's just sloppy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, he just came down to the essence of Sprezzatura, like I said before.
Mm-hmm.
It's just be comfortable in whatever you wear,
Right.
and you just for yourself, and pretty much it.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, the only person who really cares is you.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
mean, 9 out of 10 people will just look at us and be like, "Oh, that guy's wearing a suit." Only the
They're-
one person will be like, "Oh, he's actually not doing. He's buttoned it kind of weird." Or his tie,
Yeah.
So it's not. No one's really gonna notice except us or So
And I'm
it's.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead,
on.
Spence. No,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that kind of the point that we're talking about, it like being natural, that's something that really drew you toward maybe just like the photos and stuff like that of places like the Armory or Drake's or any of the, I basically only know those 2 menswear companies.
B.N. Taylor. You forgot B.N. Taylor.
Yeah, B&Taylor's,
Taylor, yes.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to like what looks good. Like I mean, wearing your tie too long, where the I can get behind the back blade being long, because I would just tuck it. I'm not a big fan of like just letting the long one just hang out. Like if the front blade is fine and the back blade's long, I'll just tuck it in either in my shirt or I tuck it into my pants, whatever. But I know that some of these guys would just let both of them just hang out. Maybe both ends are too long, like they go past your waistband, and it might just be the bias because they're the Armory, but because of that damn good slick photography, I'm like, damn, that looks good. And maybe in practice, if you saw like a random guy walking the street, you'd be like, that guy sucks. And I guess there is that aspect of it, of making it look good. And if you're taking a mirror selfie of you with like an unbuttoned shirt with a long tie, of course it's not gonna look good. But if you've got like really dramatic lighting in your hands or in your pockets, you could be like, it looks sloppy, but he looks really good. But yeah, that line that Andy was saying is kind of hard to find because I really, I try not to say what you can and can't do, because I think style in general is personal. Again, it matters how comfortable you feel walking out the door. But I obviously have my limits too. I don't really wear monk straps anymore. I know I used to, and when I did, I would leave the back buckles, not both, just the back buckles undone so I could slip them on. And I used to do the whole tie thing, like I said, but eventually I just I kept the front blade fine. I would tuck in the back blade. And that's kind of the extent of it. Like, I don't really wear, like, some people wear, like, their shirts uncut, like, the cuff of their shirt unbuttoned. And even though, like, that's kind of, like, not that big of a deal if you wear, like a suit, like, technically your suit sleeve will hold your shirt together. It's not going to, like, open up. But, yeah, I mean, it kind of falls under this whole, I guess, conservative mindset of, like, oh, no, if that's okay, then what's not okay, And a lot of people tend to bring that up, like, oh, what if I just, stop wearing pants? Is that Sprezzatura? And I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope fallacy.
Yeah, and I think because obviously there is a right and a wrong way to do it, and I guess it's like porn, where it's like, you know it when you see it, right?
That's my favorite Supreme Court decision.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely like the whole tie tuck phenomenon. I think I don't know how Sprezzatura it is. I think it's kind of like, oh, my tie is long, fuck it, I'm gonna tuck it in. I don't think it's like egregious as some people make it out to be. And someone actually brought up how, like, oh, if that's okay, like, why is it okay that classic menswear can be, can accept tucking in their tie when they make fun of the pity peacocks who wear pink suits? Like, what's the difference? And I'm like, well, the difference is I think one's cool and one's not. And that literally can change for everybody. Like, there are probably guys out there who hate classic clothing and they want to have the cropped jackets, the cropped pants with pink, or like some floral jacket, and that's okay for them too. Like, that's fine, and I think everyone has a sense of what's okay and what Sprezzatura means for them. That's my 2 pennies.
Nice.
Yeah, you like that? Because it's 2 cents. But yeah, I mean, I really don't. Again, I don't really like calling out people based on how they dress. I mean, I know
you do a lot, but
we do. I mean, everyone does. I mean, maybe not, in the sense of being. I don't want to insult people over it. But in the end, it really kind of just matters. How you feel about it, and obviously, we all have our limits. So that's I just said the same thing twice, but
that's okay. I feel like we do that a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. We talk for like an hour, and I'm sure that we end up.
We could cut it down to like 2 minutes. We'll get better. We'll get better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on that, or any other?
No.
No. Yeah, I think we hit it.
I think we did it. I just remember last time, sometime in the middle of the episode, I googled Sprezzatura and went to Google Images, and I found a really funny picture. I don't remember what the picture was, but now I'm looking for it again.
Right. I think. On that subject, I know that the guy teaching Jose Zuniga, he would talk about like how he used to do the whole tie thing, and I think you can't do Sprezzatura. You can't like put that on and be like, I'm gonna intentionally do it, because I think that
I feel like a lot of fashion blogs probably have how to dress Sprezzatura.
No, there is. Look, Spencer, look it up right now. Okay. I tell you, it's usually disguised under how to dress like an Italian.
Oh yeah.
But no, it happens. Like, there was a Gentleman's Gazette video on that. Remember?
Forbes, Fashion Beans. Isn't that a joke from The Office?
Is it Fashion Beans?
No, just like, remember when Pam and Jim come back from honeymoon and they're like, Franken Beans. It was a stretch. It was a stretch.
Okay.
But I was doing it. Yeah, there is a lot of articles on how to do this.
Right. Hey, why don't you go on one? Don't tell us which one it is in case they're a friend or whatever. But you can. Why don't you go down the list and we can talk about that?
Okay.
Then we can do that as our last segment.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me see. Oh, that was a bad one. Spoiler alert, that was the one from Forbes, because I was hoping it would be a list, but instead it was just like a narrative.
I mean, you could talk about Forbes. Forbes is not a sponsor.
Okay.
Step one.
Okay, one of the best backhanded compliments I've ever received came from a friend who said, "Michael, you dress with a certain je ne sais quoi."
Okay. Jesus Christ.
What?
Is that just...
That's the intro, and Forbes won't let me go back to Google. So, okay, let's...
Hell, Forbes.
Okay, wait. Here's another one. Start with the right fit. When it comes to style, the right fit is everything. Italians pride themselves in wearing clothes that fit. I'm saying this sarcastically, but for the most part, I don't disagree with this.
Okay.
If there's a gathering of fabric or if there's excess material hanging loosely, you probably need to go a size down. Tailored jackets must fit almost like a glove. Avoid looking owned by clothes, as this will make you feel awkward and will fake the Sprezzatura look.
When are they going to get into actual Sprezzatura?
I'm just waiting for bad advice. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Accessorize like an Italian. Scarves are a great way to complete your look.
I love a jaunty scarf.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. I think I heard one time where they were like, "Oh yeah, pile on as many bracelets as possible."
Yeah, that was the picture for like how to accessorize like an Italian.
How is that like? I'm not a big fan of bracelets. I don't even wear a watch or drink coffee. That was an inside joke.
Yeah,
but
Ethan talks a lot about how he doesn't drink coffee. That's the joke.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't get the appeal of wearing more than one bracelet. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, if you like one, if you like the metal. I know that Simon Crompton, the guy behind Permanent Style, got a bespoke gold bracelet. And I thought that was kind of odd because he's usually kind of a conservative dresser. Like, he doesn't really like anything too fancy. So I was surprised that he commissioned a gold bracelet, and I'm like, sure, okay. But like having like 1 million on both of your wrists doesn't seem studied carelessness to me at all.
So I just Googled how to dress pity in hopes that would find us the bad content we were looking for.
Nice. I wonder if they'll say that it's Sprezzatura.
Probably. White blazer.
I mean, that's
distressed
white
jeans.
Anything. Yeah, okay.
Okay, this list from GQ is literally just like, there's no commentary. There's just like items that you should buy. Man.
See, maybe that's the issue. Like, they're trying to spin, I think people are trying to spin Sprezzatura into this brand when it's not. Like, everyone's got their own idea. And I guess it might be the fault of Pity Peacocks. And I don't even think it's their fault because that's what people take pictures of. If you look at almost every mainstream coverage of Pity, it's always the peacocks. You have to go to like The Rake or Permanent Style to get like the classic menswear. You're not going to see it. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, oh yeah, Pity Peacocks are, they suck or whatever. Then that's the only thing that they'll show. So people will automatically see it. Like, if you look up Pity Uomo on Google, I'm sure the first picture will be of some guy sitting on that.
It is almost certainly. Oh,
yeah, see, exactly.
Hey, found an article from 2015 on Guess Whose blog?
Oh God,
yours.
Oh,
it's called Pity Peacocks, isn't it?
No, it's called Pity Uomo Style, whatever.
Oh,
So,
from what year?
2015.
Oh my God, that's the beginning of the blog.
It's bad.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll see classic Italian style with shirts only buttoned to the bottom of your chest or white pants. You'll even see Sprezzatura with neckties in varying lengths.
Is that me writing?
Yes.
Oh wow.
That's me.
Oh,
Above all,
you'll
you'll see men who want to stand out.
Oh.
And then your first
right.
picture is called Hipster Pity Style.
Oh wow. His face palming right now on his own writing.
You are wearing.
I didn't know. I didn't know I'd get gotcha'd on my own podcast.
You're wearing a khaki Zara blazer, an H&M OCBD with the worst collar.
It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't even roll.
No, it definitely doesn't because it's so small.
I remember that it's the premium shirt from H&M, I think, and I was like, this is $30. Whoa, this is expensive.
And then a
I'm gonna
floral
buy
tie.
this one.
The next photo, you are wearing low-rise gray jeans with a probably H&M gray window pane blazer. Let's see, a black sweater vest, an orange tie, and just a regular spread collar shirt. And
Sounds solid to me.
but and then really ugly tassel loafers.
Oh, they're like that canvas, right? They're like canvas.
Yeah, they are from Zara.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And
What
you
was the name of that one?
you're standing really awkwardly, so you look like how I stand in all my photos.
I didn't get the Ethan poses down yet.
No.
Wait, is one of the pictures me wearing me on my phone?
Let me check. Actually, I do. Yes, it's the first photo. You're talking on your phone, sitting on a rock.
Well, you gotta tie it all in together,
Wait,
right?
You weren't actually talking on the phone, right?
Of course not.
Oh
Good
boy.
God. Wow, that's awful.
Yeah.
At least I didn't give advice. What was the advice? Yeah, tell us more of what I wrote.
I mean, seems pretty consistent with today. You're talking about how all the pretty guys are wearing super expensive bespoke stuff, and you're like, I got them by shopping at the mall. Except now you would say I got them by going to Goodwill.
Yeah, I think now I call out mall brands.
You
more than
do
anything.
a lot. You said that the second outfit I described with the gray jeans and the black H&M sweater vest with this Uniqlo blazer, you were like, it's an old school look.
Oh, is it because I'm wearing striped shirts and patterned ties?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. God,
Yeah, you
man.
tell everyone to go sockless. Are you still into that?
No, I'm not. I wear socks all the time now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Okay,
That's
you highly recommend floral ties.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more of like a Pity Omo episode than
Yeah.
a Sprezzatura episode.
I mean, I feel like those things are hard to divorce, like
Yeah.
a Catholic monarch.
Haha, very funny.
Yep.
Did you find the article called Pity Peacocks?
Yeah.
That's also
Oh
one.
my God. Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
Raj killing it.
Yeah, Raj is okay. Raj is consistently good. Like, I wish I was as good as Raj when I was starting out.
Oh boy, you look very 70s. Yeah, you talk about it. 70s pimp outfit. Oh my God, double-breasted, like navy pinstripe suit with a red turtleneck. And then one of the
Yep.
photos is you pulling on your turtleneck like you're Rodney Dangerfield.
I got no respect.
Yeah.
No respect at all. You know what's funny is that was my first ever modern DB suit.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God, hold on, but you just threw on an overcoat and a fedora.
okay, it's raining.
Yeah.
It was raining. Okay, let me make it even worse for you guys. So the suit is linen,
Oh my God.
and I'm wearing a merino turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
So let that sink in real quick of how weird that pairing is.
Yep.
And the funny thing is that I think last year we did like a whole State of the Union for MFA or something like that, which it was a State of the Union today. But I think they were talking about how we progressed, how certain people have progressed or whatever. Maybe it was one of those. Maybe it was a State of the Union. But anyway, someone said that their favorite outfit of me was that outfit. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, turtleneck and a DB suit, that's pretty solid. I've done it again recently. Except I didn't wear, like, a burgundy turtleneck.
Yep.
And a pinstripe suit, which is,
Mm-hmm.
it's very surprising that they like that. And I guess it's because maybe there's some appeal to peacocking,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's maybe because the old school suiting will always be old school, and to regular guys who have a bad taste for classic tailoring, they want something different.
Yeah, one more thing I want to complain about my work.
Okay.
So a lot of times when the salesmen are selling, they will talk about how suits are supposed to fit now, or they will just describe things that like you could apply to classic tailoring, like high-rise pants, cuffs, pleats, double-breasted suits, buttoning up suits, stuff like that. And they will say, we don't do that anymore. That was like, that's an old guy thing. And I'm like, not necessarily. Like, old guys do wear stuff like this, but to say that to blanket pleated pants or cuffs on pants and to say that's an old guy thing, you can't do it anymore, I feel like that's where a lot of the problems that guys have with classic menswear come from.
You know, I think, yeah, they have this aversion to looking old. But the thing is, I mean, that's what appealed to me about the Armory, is that they made these old school things. I mean, they're obviously not old school. You know, they're bespoke. They're probably made in the last year or so, but they made it look so effortless, and so they made it look fucking good. That's I mean, that's the point. And like, every time someone brings that up, I just want to like show them a picture of like Jake Grantham or Mark Cho and be like, look at this guy. This guy's your age, and he's like fucking rocking pleats, high waisted, with a with a navy, with a double breasted jacket or a suit or something like that. And I mean, yeah, that's Andy. Yeah, what were you saying?
Like Ethan said, I think it all comes down to the fit.
Right.
Like how it fits you. If it fits properly, it doesn't matter if you have pleats or no pleats, no cuffs. If it fits right, it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I'm in a part of like different Facebook groups because I'm friends with a couple of menswear bloggers. Like Brock McGough from The Modest Man, Baron, I forgot his last, Quadro, I think, from The Effortless Gent, and they're good guys, right? But the community is kind of like it's a lot of regular guys who want style advice, and I see what you were talking about a lot that comes up, like this is too old, it's not modern enough, and I think if these guys just saw how effortless and how with a little bit of Sprezzatura, when you add that into classic tailoring, it can look just as good as a guy from J. Crew where they all worship and that's what they aspire to look like. But I think that's what it is. Like, I think a healthy dose of Sprezzatura is always needed, and I think that when you have something that's a little too modern, it's cropped, or if it fits too close, you literally don't have any room for any like mistakes or any natural occurrences that will happen, like it'll show all the nooks and crannies as opposed to like, it doesn't really let you slouch. Yeah. And I think that to me is the essence of Sprezzatura, being able to make mistakes and just kind of rolling with it. Like Andy said, like you dress it up, and then you dress up, you put on your clothes, and you walk out the door, and you let the world happen to you, and that's how it's supposed to be. I think that's a good stopping point right there. What do you think?
That's a great stopping point. I had this image in my head of a guy getting dressed up and then going out, and it's a rainy day, and then a bus drives past him and gets a bunch of mud on his suit, and he's like, finally, Sprezzatura.
Like it's like that DirecTV commercial, I think, where it's all like, no one likes high cable prices, like no one wants to get like mud on their stuff or drop their salad.
Yeah, but all those people in the commercials are like, the Sprezzatura is off the charts.
Yeah. Exactly. So now that we're nearing the end here, I just want to remind everyone to leave us a review.
Yeah, I have those pulled up. Did we read them?
Yeah, we did. We read the one from John.
Okay,
and we
good.
also read the one from
Turker
Job. Yeah, that's Josh Gooch.
Ah.
Yeah. So they both left reviews. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to leave us, 5-star ratings or whatever rating you want. Hopefully it's 5 stars.
Hopefully.
But it really helps us out. Lets other people gain awareness for the podcast, because there aren't a lot of other menswear podcasts out there.
Because it's a entirely visual medium.
Right.
Fashion.
Right, exactly. So yeah, please do. And if you want to leave us an email at styleanddirection, all spelled out, styleanddirection@gmail.com. You can find the same thing on Instagram. You can follow us there. But you can always contact us. You can find us on our individual Instagrams. Mine is at Ethan M. Wong.
I'm Spencer DSO.
And I know yours is private, Andy. I don't know if you want to shout out. Do you have anything to plug? Like, do you want people to add you on Facebook or? If you're private, that's fine too.
Have you watched any good TV shows recently? Like The Good Place?
Well, I'm probably just gonna keep it low key.
Okay, sure, that's totally
Sure.
fine. Yeah,
All right.
if you guys want to talk to us, there's always the Street Experts community Facebook group. If you just look that up, you'll find it. It's connected to the Facebook page for the blog. You can find it if you just click community. You'll find the fucking community. But there's always guys there. We're always talking stuff, sharing pictures.
It's a real sausage fest.
Yeah. There's literally. No, there's Linda. Linda's there.
Hey, Linda.
Linda sometimes comments. She's a cool vintage mom that her husband Kevin actually has bought a few of my clothes that I've been trying to so Andy bought some too. So I'm just my
Ethan will
cool
sell you
Asian
clothes
friends that are my size are buying my clothes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want us to hang out with us, and if you don't mind, joining with your Facebook account, because I know that millennials don't like Facebook, or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know what millennials like anymore.
Yeah, me neither. I know. Apparently, we're shutting down the detergent industry or something like that.
Yeah, we killed Hooters.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug, Andy? Anything it doesn't have to be menswear. You can talk about how they had this great food. You had a great In-N-Out on the corner of Harbor and whatever, and you really want to shout them out. You can do that too.
Wait, I didn't really get what you mean.
So
Just talk about anything you want more people to know
what do you
about.
wanna-
Literally,
what do you wanna
I plugged
support,
The Good Place.
brand-
I keep talking about
anything
it.
you want.
Okay, the thing that I really want to support is I know a guy who's the son of a tailor in Saigon, where I was born and raised. So his family his father owned a family-run tailor shop, and he's actually taken after him.
Oh, cool.
His name is Fam Taylor. I think that's a really cool shop.
Is that PHAM?
Yeah, PHAM. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Taylor.
And what was the name of the blog you mentioned earlier that did the menswear walk in
That's
Vietnam?
Gentleman's Sharing, and the guy who wrote the blog, who's the owner of the blog. I mean, it's on Facebook. It's a Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay.
And the guy who's working there, he's working for Sir Taylor in Vietnam. I think they have a lot of potential right now.
Oh, cool.
They actually have a brand, a Sir Taylor, which is their bespoke brand, but they're doing a little downgrade brand. It's called Sir Misura. So they
Made to measure.
made to measure. Yeah.
Yeah, Simisora.
Yep. Starting at, I think it's not expensive at all, but I think they imported the technology and fabric direct from Italy.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the gentleman sharing from Sir Taylor,
Uh-huh.
and there was also your friend at Fam Taylor.
Fam
Cool.
Taylor.
I think Fam Taylor. I think that guy is a part of the group now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
Yep. Yep.
yeah, that's cool. I want to plug this show that I found. It's called Breaking Bad, and
No one's
it's
ever
about-
heard of
it's-
it.
Yeah, I just started it, and this guy, I know it's weird. It's the guy from Malcolm in the Middle, but he's doing like
Can
this
you believe it?
dramatic show. I'm only in season 3 right now, but he's doing drugs, or he's making drugs. It's a real wild trip, and can't wait to see what happens next.
The podcast Ethan and I are both listening to. Good
Oh,
Christian
yeah.
fun. Check it out.
Really great, yeah.
Funny podcast.
Spencer and I are Christians. We are different denominations, but we
were
do.
we were
We
raised.
do,
were-
we have some of the same. Like we both saw VeggieTales. We both have seen
'cause
the
for,
Christian
for,
Mingle movie.
For
but-
reference, it's a podcast where they talk about Christian pop culture, and both of us are listening to it and getting flashbacks to our childhood.
Oh yeah, dude, it's really good. I really recommend you guys checking that out. So as the last part here, we ask our guest to come
Oh,
up with a
God.
sign off on the spot. So give us your great sign off.
Not to stress you out, but no one's come up with a good enough
he's
one
got
to
one. Let's
keep
go.
us
What is it?
keep us using it.
This is Andy, Ethan, and Spencer, and thank you guys for listening to the podcast from Street Sprezzatura. See you guys next time.
That's
That was
great.
solid. That was
Yeah.
good. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.